welcome back to Lost Legacies. I'm Matt.
And I'm Sam.
Hey Sam, you know who we look like?
Who do we look like?
The Browncoats. I don't know, we're just looking very Malcolm Reynolds today. Like we're both wearing like our reddish maroon.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, man. So what's up? How are you doing?
Doing good. Doing
Nice.
all right. You know, living life.
Anything exciting this weekend? Watch any new media? Any new quote unquote content?
Oh God, don't call it that. Stop right there. I'll leave the show if you keep referring to it as such. Saw the first two episodes of Mike Flanagan's new Netflix series, The Fall of the House of Usher.
I just watched the trailer for The Fall of the House of Usher, and it looked creepy. So it's very interesting that this is coming off right after the end of Succession. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh, this is Succession meets the devil. Like, I don't know. Yeah, is that kind of what the plot is like?
I mean, if you know where the title comes from,
I know it's a Poe story, right, or a short story.
Yeah, it's a story about Edgar Allan Poe, mm-hmm. And essentially that's what the series is. It's just like a giant remix of Poe's works.
Oh, this is what you're talking about, right? Where they're kind of mixing and matching different things.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's right. All right, we discussed that. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so saw the first two episodes. It's great. I think Mike Flanagan's at the top of his game. Yeah, man. It's pretty crazy. It's kind of cool because I was just thinking about this. I think in all of the Netflix stuff that he's done, so Haunting of Hill House, Haunting of Bly Manor, Midnight Mass, and now The Fall of the House of Usher, I think there's a real sense, like, yes, obviously like spookiness, but there's also just this air of I don't know, comedy. There's like a dark comedy that's in, that's kind of ingrained in all the works, or maybe not all the works, but they can have their really like comedic moments. And this go around, I think it just stands out to me so much because we are dealing with something that's not outright scary.
Mm-hmm.
In the haunting shows, obviously there's the haunted houses. Midnight Mass, where we're slowly being taken through this journey that ends up being terrifying. But in Fall of the House of Usher, we get like the story almost immediately. Like all of these things are happening or have already happened, and now we're sitting down by a fire with a drink and being told a story and being told this is how it all began and this is where the thing comes. All this stuff. So it's a little bit more classical in the way that it's being told to us. But yeah, it's also kind of funny. And yeah, I was just telling Kat that. I was like, see, everybody keeps telling me, Sam, you gotta watch Succession. It's so good. Succession is so great. I'm like, if there's not weird, scary stuff in it, I don't want it. This, that's just rich white people, having problems. Mm-hmm. This is rich white people having supernatural problems. That's completely different. Much more my speed.
I think I'm 4 episodes into Succession, season 1, and I was like, I like, the characters are interesting. I want to see what happens to them. I want to see how this plays out. And it's not like you like the characters, but it's like almost like a guilty pleasure. Like, you kind of love to hate some of these characters, and others you just hate them. Yeah. I think I'll keep going eventually. I don't know. I'm not feeling it right now. But the trailer for The Fall of the House of Usher, it was really interesting because like the first half just felt like Succession. I'm like, okay. And then they started teasing all the creepy stuff. I was like, oh, okay. And Mark Hamill's in it. I'm like, dude, this is cool. Oh, and what's her name? Rosalind from Battlestar.
Mary McDowell.
Mary McDonald. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, that's cool. Well, that's awesome.
Mhm. I think
Uh,
I think Mike Flanagan is a not so secret Battlestar Galactica fan because Michael Totoro has been in like two or three of his stuff. Oh, three actually, because he was in a horror movie that Mike Flanagan made named Hush,
uh-huh.
and then he was in Midnight Mass, and now he has a small role in Fall of the House of Usher.
Who's that?
Anders
Oh, Michael Trucco.
Truco. Well, I don't know who I said. I'm
That's
sorry.
all right. That's all right. Um,
I
that
apologize.
that's okay, Sam. One step forward, three steps back. Which brings me to my next topic. I wanted to talk about something last week and I completely forgot about it.
Uh-oh.
So, and it's been a while since we discussed this. We have new listeners right now for Dark, so we're going to have to explain a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Back during season 1 of Lost, when we were watching the show, so this is early Lost Legacies episode. Um, I made the reference to a Selena Gomez song, uh, "The Heart Wants What It Wants." Right?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
And I named the episode title that
Yeah.
after Selena Gomez, not Woody Allen. Big difference. Um, and for the longest time, and I think still now, that was one of like our most listened to episodes.
Oh wow.
And it's like episode 8 or 9 of Lost. So it doesn't really make sense. Like people just tuned in for that one, you know?
Mhm.
So my theory was, oh, it's because I named it after a Selena Gomez song.
Mhm.
So I'm going to put this to the test.
Uh-oh.
This week, I want to try and include as many references to Olivia Rodrigo songs as I can, and then I will name the episode after an Olivia Rodrigo song.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Yeah, man, it's going to be brutal. I can tell you don't know Olivia Rodrigo tracks, so I'm just going to be talking to
No,
myself here.
I no,
Uh,
I'm dead eyeing you because I caught that, okay?
it's Zoom. It's hard to see the dead eye. And this is
Ugh.
an audio format show, so the audiences can't hear the dead eye.
Well, you know what? Fine, I'll just say it from now on. Deadeye.
Dead eye. That's also another podcast. God damn, you're such an all-American bitch. All right,
Oh my god,
let's
get
get into
outta
this
here.
episode. Was this a bad idea, right?
I hate your guts. There. Are you happy now?
Oh man, this has left a sour taste in my mouth.
Oh, get out of here. This is a bad idea, right?
I just said that. You can't take my joke.
I don't care.
That just reminds me of what was the Key and Peele sketch where he takes his joke. He's like, "I wish I was high on pot deuce."
Oh, that's right.
You're not gonna be Keegan or whatever. And then he like even Obama's laughing to that joke, and he's like, "Oh
Mhm.
man." Uh,
Talk
well,
about a real traitor.
you're good. You're good. Almost slipped past me. Okay, so guys, what an episode! This week we're talking about season 1, episode 7, Crossroads. Yorick breaks into the nursing home to question Helgi twice. Meanwhile, Jonas travels back to 1986 to rescue Mikhail. Okay, first, before we jump into it, I think this is a really solid episode. The writers are really doing something cool because last week or the week before, we kind of were wondering, once we realized that once we the audience had solved Mikhail's disappearance and know that he's never getting back, how does the show continue on? You know,
Mhm.
because we had 4 or 5 episodes where like that was the show. They're trying to find this kid. We as the audience realize, oh, they're never going to find him. So how does the show that's investigation heavy continue without us just being like, it's not going to happen? It's just dead end after dead end, you know?
Yeah.
This episode really changed things up a bit because the mystery really shift. So this episode, Ulrich spent the whole episode investigating Mad's disappearance in
Mm-hmm.
1986. Uh, Especially because let me see, the last episode ended when he realized it's the dead kid, right? His brother
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
'86 somehow. So that shifted the whole core of the show, the mystery, from Mikhail to Mads.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Charlotte, her whole kind of storyline has shifted more to the power plant. She's out investigating the caves, and then also back to Peter and Helgi, her father-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was really, I just thought it was a really clever thing I wanted to bring up. Not that what I'm saying is clever. What the show's doing clever. That's what I wanted to bring up. Like,
Yeah.
oh, they kept the investigation going. It's just not focused on Mikkel anymore. It's these other side investigations. That's how this investigating heavy show can continue forward.
Yeah.
So, and dude, even Yorick figures it out, man. Like, he kind of starts to realize, like, wait a second, it's time travel thing?
Mm.
And it's what Mikhail told him that he remembers. It's like about the magic trick.
Yeah.
It's not how he does it, it's when.
When.
And that's when he starts realizing, like, oh crap.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are your thoughts, man?
Hell of an episode. So, like, so much happens and is happening, in kind of succession uh during this episode. Yeah, it was really interesting because watching it with Kat, and basically she kind of deduced that if both like Yorick's and Jonas's stories keep progressing the way they are, sort of unimpeded, there's a very good chance that Jonas needs Yorick to not find out about his brother, or
Mm,
both his brother and his missing son.
yeah, that's a good point.
Because Jonas's
Mhm.
entire life kind of depends on that.
And that was kind of his thing this episode. His whole goal was to get Mikhail back.
Yeah,
And who does he run into? Our
German Daryl
stranger,
Dixon.
German Daryl
Uh-huh.
Dixon, who basically
Uh-huh.
explains who, like, this is our first confirmation. Like, okay, he is in fact in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a time traveler. And he seems to know the rules, which we haven't really figured out yet. We just know how Jonas ended up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, he basically says, like, if you take Mikhail back, he'll never meet your mother. They'll never have you. And that's a whole, we talked about it too. Like, Jonas is a product of time travel. So if it wasn't for time travel, he wouldn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
So what would happen? Would it be a Marty McFly situation where he starts disappearing? Or would it split off into a different timeline?
Mm-hmm.
Or which is what, more like Back to the Future 2.
Yeah.
Or is it more like Lost, where it's just like this kind of loop that he's stuck in? Like, he can't take Mikhail back.
Mm-hmm.
He's it seems that because he went back to modern day by the end of the episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he's talking to his mom.
Yeah.
So he decides to leave Mikhail there. Could he have brought Mikhail back in the first place? Is it the kind of things like, oh, it never happened, so you can't actually change the past?
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know yet. The stranger kind of seems to know more of the rules right now.
Yeah.
That's a man, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, like Jonas needs Yorick to not find out.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And also shout out to Kat because she figured out the little kid in the beginning of this episode who's in the weird, creepy room with the electric chair, and he's got his like fresh cuts and scars on his face.
Those nasty looking scars.
Uh-huh. That's Helgi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting because they never really paid it attention. It's just kind of there, and you don't really see it until he's the old man, but when he's in the hospital bed, you can see how jacked up his ear is.
Hmm.
But like we've seen old Helgi and middle age Helgi a few times in this show.
Hmm.
They never really showed him that close up to really like look at the scars. And I think like middle age Helgi, he has longer hair, so you can't really
Hmm.
see his ear. So they kind of did a good job hiding it.
Yeah.
But yeah, once you see the old Helgi with his ear all messed up, you're like, oh crap,
Yeah.
interesting. And another revelation was little Helgi, who was in that like torture room in the beginning. Later, Charlotte's investigating the cabin and she goes down to the bunker. And what does she find? She finds like a piece of torn wallpaper,
Hmm.
which is like the little foxes
Hmm.
from the torture room wallpaper.
Yeah.
So it's been the bunker this whole time,
Yeah.
just not in this time.
Yeah. Potentially.
Oh man, dude, this show's getting deeper and deeper.
And freaking Noah is shown in the bunker,
Uh huh. With the tattoo,
clean.
you
Yeah.
could, that was one of your predictions. He's the one with the tattoo.
Uh-huh. He's the one to, God, I hate being right. I hate
Yeah.
being right in this show. In Lost, it's usually fine. But in this
Yeah.
show, I'm like, man, I really hope. Yeah, no, that's crazy religious dude. Yeah, he's gonna have a
Yeah.
weird. Also, what do the dates mean? The dates that he writes on the thing, like it's the same year. It's 1953.
Yeah.
So what what's happening?
Yeah. I don't know. So he marks the lake. So that whole scene, we reveal now the actual guy in the coat with the dead bodies is Helgi. It's middle-aged
Is
Helgi.
Helgi? Yeah,
And he looks very broken
he's
up about
shaking.
it.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
should.
but he's doing it.
Hmm.
Um yeah, so I don't know, it shows Noah, I guess, like mopping up the blood. I don't know, and then he writes the date on it.
Hmm.
Was that well, who was that?
I don't know.
Because we know they killed Mads. And
Hmm.
okay, and now that we know, how better to hide a body? You send it through time.
Mm.
So they sent Mads's body to the future?
Yep.
Okay, so maybe that was the first date? Because something else that I think they've hinted at it before, but they really started hammering it home this episode. The dates are exactly the same. It's just 33 years apart. So in
Mm-hmm.
both timelines, they're in November 9th, I think.
Yeah.
And they even say, like, when Charlotte's talking to Peter, when was Helgi? When was he I forgot what they say. When an accident or attacked or something.
He has an accident and it's 3 days from now.
Yeah, he's like the 12th or whatever. She's like 3 days from now, which doesn't make sense from Peter. He's like, what do you mean?
Hmm.
You know? And Yorick says some other stuff. He was supposed to interview, Helgi, the day after tomorrow, 33 years ago. So the dates are exactly the same. It's just the years that are different,
Yeah.
which is interesting. So obviously, there's not a lot of control of time travel because you're literally crawling through this tunnel.
Hmm.
So that kind of leads me to believe you don't really get to choose where you're going. It's like both timelines are continuing to move forward.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. So that kind of just leads me to assume, okay, the second person they killed, I don't know who that is because it's in the 80s.
Hmm.
All the other kids who have gone missing that we've seen has been present day.
Yeah.
So maybe that list keeps, maybe those dates keep going. We did see Peter and Tronte with the journal with dates and stuff and times, but that had to do with like the lights going off and stuff.
Hmm.
And as far as we know, no one was kidnapped that night.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Oh, I don't know that the dates in Peter and Tronte's journal necessarily is talking about the kidnappings, because that
Right.
like the date and times, at, at least from what we could see, is when somebody is crossing over.
Well, yeah,
Because
that's what I
that
was saying. Like the
oh
only
okay.
other list of dates we have is that journal, and
Oh,
that
got you.
that seemed
Sorry.
to be when all the lights would go off. Which, yeah, that's when we find out. Oh, someone's crossing.
Yeah.
So there's two lists of dates.
Hmm.
We don't know how they're related or how they're different.
Hmm.
But I don't know. Also, so you go through a period of where it's like happy torture room with the wallpaper to just bare bunker, and it looks like it's like that for 30 years because it looks the same in both the 80s and present day.
Well, does it?
Yeah, well,
Does it
what
look like
Noah?
that in the 80s?
Well, that's where Noah and middle-aged Helgi are when they're mopping, because that's the day he writes, right? Was it 80 something?
I know. It was 50.
Oh shit, you're right.
It was 53.
Oh crap.
So
Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that.
somewhere in between, this bunker becomes a weird, creepy children's room.
So Noah and Helgi are back in the 50s.
Yeah.
That would explain why we don't know who that second kid is, because they're in a
Mm-hmm.
whole different timeline.
Yeah,
Oh,
probably.
well
Yeah.
then that means the first one wasn't Mads. So that's two different kids.
Mm-hmm. That we know of.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Because I was just thinking about this. Because I was like, yeah, who's the other kid? Um, the the other little boy who does sign language.
Yeah, there's Eric and then I forgot his name.
Yeah, I forgot
Elizabeth's
his name.
boyfriend.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Elizabeth's boyfriend. What if it's him?
Well, that's interesting because they're both modern day, but we've seen them take the bodies through time. So
Mm-hmm.
it could have been. We don't see what happens to Eric. It didn't look like Eric. I couldn't tell by the hair.
No, it wasn't Eric, because
Okay, so it could
Eric
have been
is
this.
full redhead, and this
Yeah,
little boy had like black or brown hair,
so it could have been the second
dark
kid
brown.
then.
Yeah, yeah.
So then, I guess the dates aren't when they kill. I don't see, and that's the thing too. I don't think they're like they're experimenting. I don't think they're meaning to kill these kids. They're experimenting on
Mm,
something. I don't
maybe.
know. Like it seemed like why not just shoot them? Like what's the point of the
I
chair? Like what are they doing?
don't know.
Um,
Maybe it's a machine that's powered by children's dreams.
ooh, kind of like Torchwood. Children are drugs.
Oh God, yeah.
Okay,
Oof, oof.
so maybe the dates aren't when they killed someone, but it's when they left the body. I don't know. We don't have enough
Oh, like
info.
where the bodies are, or when the bodies are.
Maybe because there's two dates in the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the problem: we don't have any clues or info about Wyndon in the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
So we're kind of just guessing at this point. But you did say when we did go back to the 80s for the first time, you started to get the feeling that like, oh, wait a second, this mystery goes back even further. You
Yeah,
thought it started in the 80s, but when we were watching the episode, you started saying like, no, I think this mystery goes even further back.
yeah.
Which, if you think about it, probably 33 years before 86 would be 53.
Mm-hmm.
I just did reverse math in my head.
Wow, look at you,
I know.
man. Throwing, getting rid of kids, via time travel. The dead bodies of these little kids through through time displacement or whatever. You could call it my favorite crime.
So 33 years ago from today, oh, was that an O-Rod song?
Yes, that was an
Oh,
Rod
damn
song.
it. Oh, man, I completely forgot.
well,
Well, good
that's
for
an
you. Good for you.
well, that's enough for you, okay?
I hope
Let's
you're
get back to the
happier.
episode. Oh god. Jealousy, jealousy.
We're just going straight down now. Oh man. Jeez. Driver's license. Anyway, dude, okay, so 33 years ago from today, what is it, 2023? So that would be 2003, 2000?
33?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That'd be in the 90s.
Yeah.
33 years ago from today, what year would that be?
That'd be 97? 98.
90.
90?
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't yeah, I wasn't doing it. Look,
I had to pull out the calculator. Okay,
math
so
is
I can't
hard.
take full credit.
Life is hard, kids, and then you
Mhm.
die.
2000, 2010, 2020, plus 3, 2003. So that'd be 1990. What could we do on October 17th, 1990?
Well, I can't do anything because I'm not born yet.
Well, yeah, but you could go back in time.
Oh,
What's
what
going on?
movies are out?
Let me
Yeah,
see.
what's
I'm
going?
gonna look it up.
The Berlin Wall is still up.
October 1990. Uh, top movies. That's the first thing. Just gonna go to the
I'm
movies.
sure Batman was 89, killed it at the
Okay,
box office.
number one at the box office was Marked for Death.
Mark,
What is that? Oh, a Steven Seagal movie.
oh boy.
A retired DEA agent is out to hunt down and take out a Jamaican drug posse that has
Oh
targeted
boy.
he and his family for murder.
Oh yeah, this is very much a 90s movie. A
Oh, but
late
we also
80s
have,
90s movie.
yeah, we also have Ghost, Patrick
Oh,
Swayze,
oh,
Goodfellas, Pacific Heights. Which one's that?
Hey, I'm just a good fella.
I don't know what that is. We also have Fantasia. Oh, it's a re-release. Memphis Belle. Okay,
How many times have they re-released Fantasia?
dude. I don't know.
Hmm.
Flatliners, number 9.
Hey,
Night of the Living Dead.
oh, the remake.
Blood Fist 2. Cool. All right. Yeah, we could go check that out.
All right, some solid stuff.
Yeah. Now, where could we go if we go 33 years before that?
Oh god.
I don't even know anymore. Um, Wild episode, man. Charlotte
Mhm.
went into the caves. There were no hazardous waste barrels down there, but she did find like remnants of the yellow paint, it looked like.
Yeah,
So she's on the hunt.
yeah. This hasn't happened yet, but every time a character goes off by themselves, I'm just imagining that they're just gonna die. Like,
Oh, yeah.
like they're just gonna, like Charlotte was down there. Oh, and then at the end, she's in the bunker. And I'm just waiting for like somebody to just come up to her, and because she's got her back to the door, I'm just like, Charlotte, it's rule number one: don't put your back to the door.
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody's just gonna come whack her in the head.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't
Yeah.
happen, but I'm very worried about that.
Yeah. Let's talk about the scene where Katerina confronts Ulrich.
Great scene.
Dude, so it's such a great shot because they're in it's like the foyer. I'm sorry. If this was Downton Abbey, the foyer. That's what I call it at home. We have the foyer. So it's kind of like a little hallway that connects to like the living room and like kind of like a breakfast room or a room where you would eat,
Yeah.
and then the stairs go upstairs. So it's kind of like the room that connects the others. But she's sitting at a little desk. Ulrich sits down at a little nook. But the whole scene is filmed from outside the foyer. It's from another room.
Mhm.
So it's very far, very wide shot. And as they start talking, and he says, "Hey, I've been what is it? Suspended. I've been suspended, blah blah blah." And she starts confronting. She's like, "I know." She basically says, "I know about Hannah." And this whole scene, very very slowly from the other room, pushes in closer
Mhm.
and closer, and until they both kind of fill the frame. And I'm like, that was such a Oh, it's such an interesting moment, man. Like, I thought it was very well done,
Hmm.
especially for such an emotionally charged scene. You would think the amateur thing to do is to automatically stick the camera up in the actors' faces,
Hmm.
but they do the opposite. They start far, and you can still feel like the energy,
Hmm.
and it almost gets more and more uncomfortable the closer you get in. But at
Yeah.
the same time, there is something that's kind of, I was feeling like, I guess, relief. It's like it's finally out. It's
Mm.
out. And as Bullwinkle would say, and now the healing can begin. So, and even Ulrich, like, I don't know if he felt relief, but I'm glad he didn't try to deny it as he has like before. He's just like, I'm busted, you know?
Hmm.
Uh, so especially because when you deny it, it prevents the scene as a story. It prevents the scene from moving forward, you
Yeah.
know? And it does. And he even tries to explain, but she doesn't let him. And I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, so it happened. The story can still move forward, but it was a scene we had to go through, and it hurts, man. Especially because like we like her. We haven't found anything to not like about her yet.
Yeah.
So for the most part,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. I mean, she and Tina Ulrich did like
they're
tie.
bullies.
Yeah, they tied Regina to a tree. So,
Yeah.
but
But
that's
yeah,
neither here nor there.
yeah. Even the slow pushing, it felt like we were actually like peeking in on like this real world conversation that we shouldn't be a part of, but we just can't help it.
Hmm.
That's what
Hmm.
it felt like. So that was really well done.
Yeah.
Man, yeah. I'm trying to think what else really happened in this episode. It felt like last week there were so many little things happening, so many different storylines at once. This one really kind of condensed it down to two, and then two, maybe three, because you have Charlotte in there. But then you kind of
Hmm.
see how they're connecting. Um, so like the plot definitely still keeps moving forward, just not as like whoa, like big impactful as last week's. Other than the big twist at the end, where it's like, okay, it's Helgi and he's working with Noah.
Hmm.
That was kind of the big revelation. Um, but now we know that Ulrich has a theory about time travel. He found the book in Helgi's hospital room, the
Hmm.
theory of time or whatever. It also
Hmm.
had the red string and the little penny thing on it.
Yep.
And now he's following him into the caves.
Oof.
So let's see where they pop out.
Uh-huh.
Um,
These caves. I don't know about these caves. Oh, it was real interesting where I don't even know his name bandage face guy comes into Charlotte's office and has a
oh
map
yeah,
of the caves of Winden, and you see how different it is from Jonas's map. He's like, the
yeah,
caves, still some of them are uncharted. I'm
yeah,
like, not on Jonas's map.
yeah. I was like, damn.
Hmm.
Uh, and Charlotte finds her way back toward to the metal door, which Yorick had found. So all the caves are connected.
Hmm. No, this is a different one, dude.
What?
Yeah, this is a different metal door.
Really? Oh,
Yeah, because Yorick found that door pretty quickly when he was going into the caves, and it looked like he could like because the metal door or oh hmm. Because I was gonna say the only difference between the doors is that Charlotte finds the door and it's like welded shut at the bottom.
was the other one not welded?
No.
Oh, maybe it has been welded. No,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know.
that's what I was just thinking. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe there's I guess maybe there can only be one door down there, but this
It's just weird because like it looked like exactly the same like shape and angle. You know what I mean? Like
mm,
I don't know. But also, he went through like that main way. Charlotte found like the fenced off way. She rappelled down. So I'm assuming that rappelling gear is always there, you know?
I know that yeah, that's what I thought too.
So,
It's been there for 33 years.
yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I just assumed she had found another way in. from a different part of the caves, you know. Uh, but I don't know. Either way, she's now investigating that. Like, okay, um, Jonas burns the letter,
Yeah.
which is the second time we see it burn. Am I right? Doesn't Enos burn it in like episode
See,
one or two?
you said that, but I don't remember. I don't know that she does now.
I I don't remember. Oh, I'm looking it up right now. Okay, she reads the letter.
This information search is brought to you by you. If you want your ad right here, please let us know.
Oh, maybe she didn't.
Yeah, I don't think she did.
Oh, she just puts it back in the box. Okay.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay.
Cool.
So I guess this could be the same letter then.
Hmm.
Because I was thinking, like, is this a whole separate letter? Okay, you should have called me out on that when
Wait.
I said it.
Well, because I didn't think about it until yesterday.
Yeah,
Because I
I
was
noticed
thinking
that
like, oh
too.
yeah, this is the second time it's burned. Wait, did
Did
see?
we? I notice a
Yeah.
lot of things too. Like when I'm in the edit, like I'm like,
Hmm.
wait, did that happen? Or like I'll say the wrong name. I'm like, oh, that's not what I meant.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
complicated show.
It's okay. It happens. Hang on a second. Haven't you seen this show before?
It's a complicated show, Sam.
Oh gosh, don't give me that.
There's so many things, dude. Like I don't remember the letter.
Ugh.
So it gets from Enos to the stranger
Mm-hmm.
to Jonas
Mm-hmm.
to the burnt trash bin.
Yes.
Damn. Damn. Okay, so what do you think Jonas is going to do now? Because he has essentially left Mikkel there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's the next
Uh,
step? How do you go forward? He knows about time travel.
I don't know. I think.
He met Egon, gave him a ride.
He met Egon. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I feel like it can go like a bunch of different ways. Pretty sure that like Noah is gonna be like Jonas's mortal enemy at some point. You
Mm,
know, he just has that vibe. You know,
yeah.
he just gives off mortal enemy vibe.
He can't
Um,
be like, he couldn't be the cool priest. No, he's got to be the bad guy
no,
priest.
he's got to be the weird bad, the Stephen King style terrible priest.
Yeah.
You know, um, yeah, I mean, I'm sure. Look, Jonas's life just got so complicated.
Yeah.
Basically finding out that Yorick is his grandfather.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and that uh
Marta is his
Marta
aunt.
is his aunt. That's wild. Uh, yeah, definitely some Game of Thrones style shenanigans right here. But hopefully, Jonas is a little bit more, like, I don't think we should, you know,
Yeah.
than Jon Snow. So,
It's 2019, so he's seen how Game of Thrones ended.
oh yeah,
Dude, that's what incest does, man. It makes you burn all the people you're trying to save.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It's true.
Complete
Love is
character 180 that came out of nowhere.
exactly.
Didn't make any sense
Wow, love is
unless you read the
embarrassing.
books. Unless you read the books, but
Mm-hmm. You know what we need? You know what they need? They need to go. They need to take the cave system 33 years into the future and see if George R. R. Martin has still not released the other books.
yeah, I try to stay out of it, but I just found a big internet Twitter debate or argue. It's not even a debate. It's a bitch off because it's just people whining and complaining that Rothfuss hasn't written the third novel
Mm,
of Name of the Wind yet.
mhm.
I'm like, yeah.
Welcome to the club, guys. It
Yeah.
happens all the time.
I did find myself in the opposite position, though. I found the rare side of Twitter, which is actually very wholesome and welcoming. And it's
Hmm.
the community that swears to God the last three seasons of Smallville are amazing.
Huh.
I was like, really? They're
Hmm.
like, yeah, they brought in Lois in season three before like her first four seasons. They kind of just wasted her. But then the last three seasons, like, it was essentially a Superman show. You know, it's Superman and Lois. I'm like those were the years I never watched. So I'm like, I'm kind of
Yeah.
curious now. And they're like, there were some low points, but overall it's pretty good. Because I follow a few people who, like Tom Welling and Michael Rosenbaum, are watching the show on their podcast, and I
Hmm.
follow a Superman account who's watching Smallville for the first time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, this is cool. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, that was a completely different show, but yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I don't know. We're talking about obscure internet corners of the Twitter sphere, the
True.
X sphere. So,
True.
man, okay, how crazy must you feel to actually consider time travel? Like Ulrich, he's
Hmm.
like, wait a minute, was Mikkel actually talking about time travel?
Hmm. It's interesting because I feel like this is maybe the first time we've seen like uh and I don't know, maybe fans of, this show and others can correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like the first time we've ever seen like just an everyman kind of guy
Mm-hmm.
slowly piece together and accept time travel,
Mm-hmm.
but and even he is like baffled by it, because he's asking the forensic scientist like, how certain are you that this body is, hours old and
Yeah.
not that it wasn't somehow preserved? And she's like, no, like there's nothing on it. And then she even stops, is like, how long are you thinking that it was preserved? 33
Mm-hmm.
years. And she's like, no, there's absolutely no way.
Mm-hmm.
um
And then his
yes.
mom brings it up. His
Mm-hmm.
mom says, she's like, I completely forgot about this, but like the week before Mads went missing, I saw a priest arguing with a guy outside,
Mm-hmm.
and I just saw him again yesterday or whatever, or the night Mikael went missing. I don't know, or I forgot when she said, but like recently. He's
Mm-hmm.
like, the priest? No, the other guy.
Mm-hmm.
He looked exactly the same. So it's like there's all these little pieces are adding up in Ulrich's head. Like this isn't this isn't just connected to Mads. This is Mads.
Yeah.
And now and once he accepted that, he's seen all the pieces fitting, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh damn. And then he
I
finds the book about time.
Yeah, I love how he has like all of the evidence just like spread around him in a circle, and he's going through it, like he's piecing things together, like
Uh,
why didn't Helgi take the forest road? That's in Egon's notes, like why not
yeah.
forest road? Uh and yeah, he's like just slowly just trying to figure these things out, very analytically, very much like like a detective. So,
Yeah. Yeah, it's very cool to see that.
yeah.
You can tell the show was in Germany because Helgi keeps the chocolate bars in his glove compartment all day,
Yeah,
and he
and
eats
it's
it after
fine.
work. It's
Yeah.
fine. If this was Texas, man, it would be melted by 10 a.m.
Yeah.
It would be mush.
Yeah.
That's happened to me plenty of times. I could get groceries, stop, go get something else, and when I come back, something has melted.
Hmm. Matt, when have you tried, when have you stored chocolate in your glove box?
Just in general, I like my crunch bars, you know? And then if I forget it's there, or like I say, if I just get groceries or something, I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna run to GameStop real quick. 30 minutes later, oh man, your chocolate's gone. It's like, God damn.
This is why you run those errands before you go to the grocery store.
Yeah, I know. And like that was me today. I had to go to Walmart to pick some stuff up. And I'm like, oh man, should I get popsicles? Or I was looking for like the little chocolate, like the Mickey bars. And
Hmm.
I'm like, no, because I'm probably gonna get food after this. It's gonna melt while I'm in drive-through, yada yada.
Mm,
So
mhm.
no Mickey bars. But
Sorry.
hey, man, at least I'm not a dead kid sent through time. Could be worse. Um. Okay, so okay. Anything else you wanted to bring up before we get into like the more music and all that stuff?
I thought it was an interesting scene with where Jonas goes to the school. One, okay, first off, we go back to the 1990s. I'm not setting foot in a school.
Oh, like if we win,
Yeah, like if you and I went,
yeah,
I'm not setting foot in a school.
yeah,
No freaking way.
yeah,
Also, I mean, obviously we're not teenagers, so I'm assuming we'd be doing this as adults.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't understand because Mikhail did the same thing. He
Hmm.
went to the school.
I think
I get him because he's looking for his mom,
he's a lost
but
kid. Yeah,
yeah, he's a lost kid. He's looking for his mom's principal. Like, okay, yeah, that makes
yeah,
sense. But like Jonas is at the school, like, uh, like, dude, you're nothing that you're wearing is gonna shout out that you're like from the future. But
yeah,
I would just be too scared, to
yeah.
be
I
like,
mean,
I'm gonna give myself away,
I
you
think
know?
I think he was looking for Mikhail though. Like he has no idea where he is, and he's like, "Is he at school?
Yeah.
Does he not realize he's in the '80s?" He did meet Regina though, and I'm like, "That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's the scene that I want to talk about. I liked that moment. They had like their little meet cute, I guess, but
kind of right." It's a little weird, and I'm like, "Huh,
yeah.
okay,
Yeah. So now that all, characters are going back and forth in time, right?
yeah,
And I know you said I think you said like last week or the week before about Mikhail or Miko, it was like, wouldn't Hannah have recognized, you know, when her secret lover has a third kid, and it looks just like how my husband used to look, when we were
yeah,
kids? Like,
yeah."
so thinking about that, I was just now thinking about, like, is Regina gonna start thinking, like, is she gonna remember that she met Jonas?
I don't know. So something like that, like Jonas, that was like a one-time thing, Like how many times do you
So
remember? Well, so
so
far,
far that we know,
but
yeah.
how many times do you remember someone randomly having something like that? Same thing
That's
with
true.
Jonas met his mom in the last episode. Like
Yeah.
would she really remember that? It was such a random
Yeah.
thing. Um, Now Hannah recognizing Mikhail, that's different because that's a kid she ends up liking, and the man she ends up marrying.
Hmm.
Would she have recognized him as a kid
Hmm.
now that she's older? I guess technically she met him at this age exactly right now.
Hmm.
So I don't know, how old is he? 12, maybe 13? I don't think he's a teenager.
I think he's like 12.
12. So for those first 11 years of his life, he slowly starts looking like 12-year-old Mikhail, and she might start seeing some similarities. Also, we don't really know how close she is with Katerina or the family, but she's friendly with Ulrich, which
Yes.
is interesting because when you were talking about that, I just realized, wait a second. She is sleeping with Katerina's husband and son and her youngest son because
What?
Mikhail grows up to become her husband.
Oh.
Isn't
Oh.
isn't that twisted? Like
Oh.
Katerina doesn't know it, but the same woman screwed her over twice.
Oh God.
That just makes it so much more diabolical.
Oh, I don't like this. All right, never mind. Time crime is not my favorite crime. I take it back.
Where's
This is
Jean Claude Van Damme? Didn't he do a time crime? Oh, he did Time Cop.
he was the time cop.
He
He
was
was
a time
stopping
cop.
the crime. Yeah.
Oh man, I can't wait to see The Grudge that
Ah,
Katerina holds. Yeah, man.
blank stare. Or
I
what
don't
did
know.
I say I was gonna do? Deadeye. That's what
Did
I did.
I? Did I?
Deadeye.
So speaking of high school, they did play "I Ran So Far Away" from Flock of Seagulls. I was like, all right,
Mm-hmm.
got a little bit of '80s vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, there's there wasn't really like a montage like where we had been getting so far. But they
Mm-hmm.
played different music throughout it. It was pretty solid. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know, dude. Like this one's kind of tough for me. But who do you think would be your MVP?
I think I'm gonna say Jonas. Jonas is gonna be my MVP.
Yeah, dude, that scene with him and the stranger, and just to
Yeah.
see how he's reacting, like that was some damn good acting.
Yeah. And it's kind of the thing, like, I don't know, like this, I don't this might be like a cultural thing. Uh, I don't I to my knowledge, I don't think I've ever watched a German television show before. So yeah, it just feels like everyone is so distant, even in the way like this story is being told, like everybody is separated. They're always like by themselves. They're always figuring things out by themselves. They're going on
Yeah,
their own journey. Like they are going through this journey together alone, you
even the
know?
scenes when they are together, they just feel so distant because no one's talking to each other.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so
Which
many
is
secrets.
which we had problems with that in Lost,
Hmm.
where it's like everybody has secrets, nobody's talking to each other, nobody's telling each other anything. This is the good version of that. This is
Yeah,
this is the version where it's like this, it's so well written and acted that it's like,
it feels real.
it feels real. It's not being
Hmm.
vague for the sake of it.
And you would
Uh
understand why they wouldn't want to share because these
yeah,
are all their personal lives. You know.
yeah, exactly. And it's
Yeah.
like, how are you going to convince your mom that her husband is the kid who's missing now, who went back in time? How are you going to do that? How is Yorick going to tell his wife that the dead boy that they found isn't their son, it's his brother, who looks
Yeah.
exactly the same, who hasn't aged, like all this stuff, like it's crazy. So like to finally have a character who, like, for all intents and purposes, like kind of loses it, like is upset, thinks that this is a dream, a hallucination, and then you know has to accept it,
Hmm.
it's not loud, it's not boisterous. His he just sees the past version of his mom and dad meeting each other at a vending machine,
Yeah.
and he decides to not say anything, and then to come back to the present and hug his mother,
Yeah.
and it feels like, I kind of feel like we can infer from this that this is like the first time they've like hugged or held each other, probably since his dad died.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and he even tells her, he's like, I think Dad really loved you, and then he hugs her, and she starts crying. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and because that's also something like we haven't really seen her mourn her husband.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really see what the relationship was like before he died,
Yeah.
and it kind of seems like she was already cheating because he only killed himself a few months ago. You
Yeah.
know, so yeah, man, I don't know. Like there's we don't know what that relationship was like with them.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, man. It's murky. Okay. Predictions.
No, I don't know. Right now, I got no clue.
Yeah.
No, Noah is Jonas's eventual mortal enemy. That's all. That's all I got.
Mortal enemy. Even though last week you were saying that you think they're like on parallel paths, which I thought is interesting.
Parallel paths, but to different destinations. You know,
Oh,
because it's like
a poetic.
I feel like you can be on a similar path,
Yeah.
but have different, methodology and ideology.
Yeah.
So it's like you're taking the same road, but you're not doing the same things to get there. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so
Just like Anakin and Obi-Wan.
mhm. Just like Sora and Riku.
Throwback, man. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just like uh I don't know. Rick and Daryl. I don't know. I hope those two bros find each other, Just two grown men who love each other like brothers.
Right.
Yeah. I saw the trailer for the new what's it called? The Ones Who Live or something like that.
Yeah.
That's the Rick and Michonne show. I don't know.
Mhm.
I really like Rick Grimes and I like Andrew Lincoln, so I kind of want to tune in, but we'll see.
I like Rick Grimes show much. I like Rick Grimes show. So look, I just had some dental work done. So
It's true.
this is the first time this entire episode that it's come up. I like Rick Grimes so much. There we go.
There
That
you go.
I bought his little bundle pack on Fortnite.
Oh, did you really?
I did.
I wanted Rick, but I also want Daryl, and I kind of want Michonne.
Yeah.
That's money though. Oh,
I
well.
know. I had enough V-Bucks. I was like, I'm gonna be out a lot, but
Yeah.
I think it'll be fine. So yeah, I just got the.
But when
little
you play,
bundle.
you have to use his voice. Coral.
Coral, I'm doing stuff, Lori. Thanks. We are the Walking Dead.
Wow. Well, Sam,
We are dark.
this episode was pretty good considering you just had dental work, but I
Thank you.
I hope you're okay. It's probably the last one for this episode.
Yeah, pretty isn't pretty.
Okay, that's probably the last one of the episode. Guys, thanks for joining us. Share this episode with Olivia Rodrigo. If you have any theories or questions or comments, let us know. We're on the socials. I'm on Twitter at _Matt Jimenez and on Instagram at Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch.
And you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads at Real. It's REEL Texas Weirdo.
Until next time,
Ballad
Vampire.
of a Homeschool Girl.